Have you ever wondered why life feels so heavy sometimes? Why the trials seem endless? Why you feel like you're carrying a burden that no one else understands? These are not random moments. These are not punishments. They are tests, the hardest tests, and they are given to those whom Allah loves the most. Allah's tests are never without purpose. They are not punishments. They are opportunities. This test, this moment in your life, it has meaning. And while you may not see it now, trust that Allah does. He sees you, He knows your heart, and He is with you every step of the way. Take a moment, look at your life, look at where you are right now. Is it a coincidence that you're watching this? Stay with us, let's walk this journey together. By the end of this video, you might find answers to questions you didn't even know you were asking. Loss and separation, they leave a void, a pain so profound that it feels unbearable. But what if this pain wasn't a punishment? What if this moment of suffering was a turning point, a call to return to Allah? The loss of a loved one or a cherished dream is a test that shakes us to the core. It forces us to question, to wonder, why me? Think about it. When you lose something beloved, where do you turn? Who do you call upon in your pain? Maybe, just maybe, this loss is meant to bring you closer to Him, to remind you that only Allah is eternal. It's easy to feel like trials are punishments, but they're not. Trials are signs of Allah's love. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "When Allah loves a person, He tests them." When you feel weak, remember this: Allah never burdens a soul beyond what it can bear. Your test is tailored for you, designed to bring out the resilience you didn't even know you had. Sometimes, we get so attached to the world that we forget the one who created it. We chase paths that lead us away from Him, but Allah, in His infinite mercy, redirects us. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels like a piece of your heart has been torn away. But what if this pain is a reminder, a sign that Allah wants you to turn back to Him? When the world feels like it's collapsing around you, remember, Allah is calling you. This pain might be the very thing that brings you closer to peace with Him. Pain is not meaningless. It's not wasted. Every tear you shed, every prayer you whisper in the dead of night, Allah sees it. He hears it. Why are you going through this? Why does it feel like the world is against you? Maybe it's not about the people or the loss. Maybe it's about you and Allah. Facing betrayal and injustice. What does it feel like when someone you trust turns their back on you? When the person you confided in betrays your trust? It's a pain that cuts deeper than words can describe. Betrayal, injustice, they test not only your heart but your faith. But have you ever wondered why it happens? There are moments when those we hold closest to our hearts, friends, family, colleagues, become the ones who hurt us the most. It leaves you questioning everything. Why did they do this? Why me? Could there be a lesson hidden in this betrayal? Perhaps Allah is showing you that not all who walk with you are meant to stay. Even the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was betrayed by his own people, those he trusted. Yet, he remained patient, placing his trust solely in Allah. It's easy to let anger consume you, to seek revenge, or to give up entirely. But what if your patience, your silence, is your strength? People may plot against you, but Allah is the best of planners. Their schemes will turn against them, and your reliance on Allah will only elevate you. Think about it. No matter how unjust the situation seems, Allah's justice is absolute. He sees what you endure. He knows your pain, and He will make it right in ways you cannot imagine. Perhaps this moment of betrayal is Allah's way of redirecting your trust, to remind you that only He is worthy of absolute reliance. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone will support you, and that's okay. Sometimes their dislike or betrayal is not about you at all, it's about their own struggles, their own envy. Yes, you've been hurt. Yes, you've been betrayed. But remember this, Allah is always on your side. He knows what you endure, and He will turn your hardship into ease, your pain into peace. Facing loneliness and isolation. Have you ever felt completely alone? As if the world has turned away, and all that's left is you and silence. Loneliness and isolation, they feel heavy, don't they? But have you ever considered that this moment, this solitude, might be a gift, a time for something greater? Sometimes Allah separates us from the world to refine us. Like a craftsman shaping something precious, He removes the distractions, the noise, and the chaos. Could it be that this loneliness is His way of purifying your heart, of making you stronger, more focused, more connected to Him? When you're alone, you begin to see things clearly. You begin to understand that what truly matters is not what's around you, but who is always with you, Allah. Sometimes Allah separates us not just to refine us, but to protect us, to pull us away from people and situations that could harm us, even when we don't realize it. When the world feels distant and people seem far away, where does your heart turn? Often, it's in these moments of isolation that you seek Allah the most. This solitude might feel heavy now, but it's a doorway to a connection with Allah that nothing and no one can break. That sense of calmness that begins to seep in when you stop struggling against your loneliness. This calmness isn't from the world. It's a gift from Allah, a reminder that even in the depths of isolation, He is there, watching, listening, guiding. Even when you feel most alone, you're not. Even in the silence, Allah is there closer than your jugular vein. He's the one who never leaves, the one who is always with you. Your isolation, your solitude, it's not the end. It's the beginning. The beginning of a journey back to Allah, where you'll find strength, peace, and purpose. Test of wealth and prosperity. What does success mean to you? Is it wealth, comfort, achievements? But have you ever paused to ask yourself, is this abundance a blessing, or could it also be a test? Wealth and prosperity, they appear to be gifts, and indeed they are. But they are also a test of how we handle the blessings Allah has entrusted to us. Will you remember Allah in your moments of ease, just as you call upon Him in your moments of hardship? Or will you forget, letting wealth replace the gratitude in your heart? Perhaps this is the true challenge, to remain connected to Allah not just in times of need, but also in times of ease. Wealth has a way of testing us, tempting us. It whispers in our ears, this is all yours because of your hard work, your efforts. Everything you have, every penny, every possession is a gift from Allah. None of it is truly yours. None of it could have been obtained without His will. Wealth can raise you up. It can be the means to help others, to grow closer to Allah through acts of generosity and humility. But it can also be your downfall. Think about it. How many people have been blinded by their success? How many have let their prosperity distance them from Allah? Could it happen to you? It's easy to believe that our wealth is the result of our efforts alone. But take a moment and reflect. Who gave you the ability to work? Who provided the opportunities? It's all from Allah. Every ounce of success, every bit of prosperity, it comes from Him. and He can take it away just as easily as He gives it. Wealth doesn't define you, your actions do. And in every moment of ease or hardship, remember, Allah is always watching, guiding and testing you not to harm you, but to elevate you. Challenges of stay faith in Allah despite the delays. Have you ever felt like your prayers are unanswered? That no matter how much you ask, how much you strive, the results you long for seem just out of reach. Waiting. It's one of the hardest tests a believer can face. But could this delay mean something greater? Time feels heavy when you're waiting. Days feel like years, and the silence can feel overwhelming. But have you ever wondered, what if this waiting isn't a punishment? What if it's a lesson? Perhaps this waiting is not about the result, but about the growth Allah is nurturing within you during the delay. You've prayed, you've worked, you've done everything in your power. And yet, it feels like your prayer hasn't been granted. It's easy to feel despair, to question why. But pause, reflect. Could it be that Allah, in His infinite wisdom, is preparing something far greater for you? We live in a world of instant results. We want answers now, solutions immediately. But Allah's timing isn't bound by our impatience. Think about this. If Allah gave you everything you wanted right now, would it truly be what you need? Or is He delaying because He knows what's best for you better than you know for yourself? The delay is not a rejection. It's a promise that Allah's timing is perfect. The Quran reminds us. Indeed, Allah does not fail in His promise. Surah Ali, Imran 3 verse 9. Allah doesn't delay without purpose. Sometimes the delay is meant to protect you, to prepare you, or to redirect you to something even better. Allah's timing is not just perfect, it's personal. He knows you, He sees your struggles, and He will grant you what you need, when you need it. Your waiting is not in vain. Your efforts are not wasted. And your prayers are not unheard. Remember, delays are not denials. They are Allah's way of perfecting your path, guiding you to what is truly meant for you. Bearing false accusation and slandering with dignity. What do you do when lies are spoken about you? When your name is dragged through the mud and your character is questioned? False accusations, slander, they're not just words, they're wounds. But have you ever paused to wonder, what if this, too, is a test? Not everyone will like you. Not everyone will speak well of you. And that's okay. Sometimes their slander says more about them than it does about you. When lies are spoken about you, the first instinct is to defend yourself, to fight back. But sometimes the greatest strength is found in steadfastness, in standing firm without reacting to the noise around you. Think of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He faced relentless accusations and slander from his enemies, yet he remained dignified, patient, and unwavering in his trust in Allah. Truth is powerful. It doesn't need to be shouted or forced. It prevails when the time is right, when Allah decides to reveal it. Have you ever thought that the lies spoken about you might be temporary? That Allah, in His infinite wisdom, is allowing this moment to pass, so that when the truth is revealed, it will shine even brighter. Patience is one of the hardest virtues to practice when people continue to slander you. The whispers, the stares, the judgments, they cut deep. But patience brings peace. Your silence, your patience, your trust, they are not signs of weakness. They are signs of your connection to Allah, the one who sees all, knows all, and will never let injustice prevail. Remember, truth will prevail, justice will come, and Allah's timing is always perfect. Now that you've heard about the signs of Allah's hardest tests, take a moment to reflect. Could you be facing one of these tests right now? Each test, each challenge, may feel overwhelming, but have you considered? What if this hardship is not meant to break you, but to shape you, to elevate you? No matter how heavy your burden feels, Allah's wisdom is greater. His mercy is endless, and His help will come when you least expect it. This moment of hardship might be the doorway to something extraordinary, a path to a stronger connection with Allah, a reminder that He is always by your side, guiding you, protecting you, even when the world feels against you. Take this as your sign to stay steadfast, to keep trusting, to believe that Allah's timing is perfect and His plan for you is far beyond what you can imagine. Thank you for watching. May Allah grant you strength, patience, and the unwavering faith to overcome every test.